Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome back to another episode of the Heart2Heart Podcast. Today I'm joined by, to put it in light terms, a pretty big deal. You'll find out here in a second. Today I'm joined by someone who is pretty strong and pretty professional strongman and American log press world record holder, 5-time world's strongest man competitor, national champion in MAS wrestling, and now acting on the Righteous Gemstones. Today I'm
American record. Just to be clarified.
That's
I don't want to take credit from Big Z, man.
That's the American log press for America?
Yeah.
Shit, I read that up wrong. Well,
No,
still.
not right. Not current either. Not current. I was the holder of the log press record. But yeah.
Well, I appreciate you.
I was chasing Z for the longest time. I feel like I had to say that, you know?
No, it's respect for the game, right? Today I'm joined by Robert Oberst. I really appreciate you joining me, Robert. Apparently I need to get my facts straight a little bit farther in advance.
You were dead on, man. You were on point. I like the intro. It was fire, you know, like it was good morning, good evening, and good night. You know, I like that.
Well, I really appreciate you joining me today, and I want to jump into things as quick as possible. I got a million questions for you. It's definitely the first time I've ever talked to someone that has as many achievements as you do, especially with such a unique environment and sport itself. Where did this all start for you? I know that I read up in you were a football player, going into professional football, and you moved into this.
Yeah, as far as strongman goes, I just didn't have a backup plan.
Okay.
So I was a football player, and at the end of my college career, I got into trouble and done silly things. I was a wild kid, and I actually signed into the NFL Players Association, the NFLPA, and had a manager, and he told me he had these two teams that wanted me as practice squad, that they were ready to do that. So I look up practice squad, and I find out that the paycheck is $5,280 a week. And to me, I was like, thank you. Like I grew up with 10 siblings, and we lived in a 3-bedroom house with no electricity for all of high school. So to me, that was practice squad money was huge. So, I was really excited about it, but that fell through. It didn't happen. I don't even know if he was really talking to two teams. I just know. Yeah. I know that I signed up, and I was in the NFLPA back then for however long the congruent session is, like a year or whatever. I don't know. But nothing. And I didn't have a backup plan. So I went back to my hometown, Santa Cruz, California, Santa Cruz County. I'm from Watsonville, if you know the area. And I was bouncing at this really cool place called the Catalyst, and it's like a small concert venue. It's a bar every night, but it's a small concert venue most nights. And I was so spoiled, man. I got to hang out and walk Willie Nelson out on the stage, and Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and BB King and just this incredible list of just amazing artists. And I was the biggest guy, so it was always hey, they want you in the back, like Willie wants you to walk him from the bus. So I'm sitting on the bus with Willie and all that. What's funny was I was trying to, just a quick Willie Nelson story, I was I play ball still at that time, and I will get to answering the question. I was trying to play ball at that time, so I was working out with the San Jose SaberCats and arena football team and doing all this stuff, and I was getting drug tested, and so Willie goes, "Hey man, you want to smoke one?" And
wow,
it breaks my heart to say this, but I was like, I can't, bud, I can't.
You are so
I turned down Willie Nelson, and my mom almost excommunicated me. My mom was like, "How could you do that?" My mom doesn't even smoke weed, but everybody smokes weed if Willie asks. You know?
She would have.
So I'm working there, and
That's
I'm bouncing.
Crazy.
Yeah, and this guy that worked there, who I played JUCO ball with, junior college, he was really obsessed with strongman. He was an amateur that was going for his pro card. He'd been attempting it for 2 years,
Yeah.
Evan Hansman, one of my best friends, and looks just like me. Like if I had red hair, looks just like me. He just kept telling me like, "Bud, you got to come with me to the gym. You got to come in, come in, come in." So finally, like, what convinced me was randomly there was like a burlesque / strip show one night.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the girls really liked Evan, and she like got him in the back and did like a private dance for him. And when she came back, she kept saying like all he would talk about was truck pulls and strongman. So I
He's
was
into
like,
it.
all right, if he's that crazy about this, I'll give it a go. I'd never tried it, I'd never watched it or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I busted my ass in the gym for a decade. You know, like I really earned my stripes playing other sports. I started off as a kid, like when I was 6, all the way till I became a professional strongman. I was always doing a sport: gymnastics, basketball, football, ice hockey, everything. You name it, I did it all. And man, it really helped round me out. And then first day, I go to the gym with Evan, and we're doing log press, and I threw up. It was like a 330 or 340 log. First time I ever done log, and it was 5 pounds over the amateur record at the time, or it might have been 345, whatever the number was.
Yeah.
It was a little bit over the amateur record. And I put it back down, and I was like, "What was that?" Like I looked at Evan like a lost kid. I was like, "That's good, right?" And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here, man." He was like,
Wow.
you can't do this to me. I've been chasing my pro card for years." And within 8 months of that, I had done an amateur show, went to nationals, got top 10 at nationals, got invited to the Arnold, which is world amateurs, and then I got top 10 at that, tied for 10th place actually, and then was in England and did well at a Giants Live. Was flying home from that Giants Live and got the call that I was going to Worlds for my first year. So quick turnaround, and it was really just like hurry up and catch up to the things you hadn't been doing. So like I never deadlifted before that. Like in all my sports history and everything, we did hang cleans and power cleans. And so like I could hang clean 5 plates, but I couldn't barely deadlift a pound more than that, you know? So it was a big adjustment on a lot of things, but I was like, you better swim because we're in the deep end.
Did you always have that discipline growing up? Like you say right now that you came from like a lower income area, like you grew up with so many siblings, and did that discipline always come from you? It's always amazing to hear a story of someone that did with what they were given to what you've become. Like to go from that to this is, first off, kudos to you. It's so impressive, and it's honestly like it's inspiring as hell. Like I don't know how many people have really heard your story. I know a fuck ton of people watched your episode on Rogan. That's exactly where I saw you for the first time, and with Shaw and Eddie Hall, and seen you in like a bunch of different clips of everything. And was discipline always in your realm? Like football is not a half in, half out sport. You're either into it or you're not. And then having to deal with a shitty agent, or maybe he was a good agent. You don't know if what was there was true.
Right.
You always hear those stories.
Yeah.
Was that discipline always there for you?
The discipline, no. So my family was wild. My old man was more wild than I'm willing to talk about. And my mom was just, like letting him take the reins. And so like, they didn't care if I went to school. They didn't care what time I came home. They cared about my health and safety, but like a structure that a normal family has, where it's like, hey, I want to see your homework, make sure you're getting your grades, all that kind of stuff. I didn't have. So like I was an all-state, California all-state football player, which is only second to Texas. I was a California all-state football player with offers. I had a big box full of offers from colleges that I never got to go to because nobody told me I had to take the SATs. I didn't even know you had to take SATs. And so the structure around all that, it wasn't really there, but I had like other things. So like when I was a kid, I was playing hockey, and we lived in Reno for a while. And we played hockey up at Squaw Valley. And Squaw Valley is like, it's about an hour and a half. I can't quite remember. It's a distance away from Reno into the mountains.
Yeah.
And we were very poor, but my old man knew somebody there. So we could go on an hour before they open, and I got to skate on the rink, which they open at 5, which means I was up on the top of the mountain in Squaw Valley at 4. And I never looked at it like I woke up every morning like, grab my hockey bag, let's go, you know? And to me, that stuff really helped me figure out later, much later, what I really needed to do to continue in sport and to be successful in anything. Like, I have to find my connection to it. And I'm not one of the kind of people who can hate what they're doing and repeatedly do it. I can't.
I respect
my
that.
parents ruined that for me, you know?
Yeah, 100%, dude. I relate to that a lot. Like, I watched obviously different space and not the exact same thing your parents were going through, but I grew up with my parents like hating their fucking jobs. Like, I had to see my dad miserable many times because he hated where he worked. And I went through that when I first started getting careers of like changing jobs all the time because I wasn't going to stay somewhere and be fucking miserable.
Yeah. My old
Wasn't
man
gonna
was
do
like
it.
that too. You don't recognize it as a kid, but like, we bounced around so much, we moved around. My old man was like a journeyman mechanic, which turned into being an electrician. And then he even ended up working up in the mines in Winnemucca for a while, like a couple of years,
Wow.
I think 5 or 6 years or something. But like, he'd go somewhere and he'd get fed up with the guy in charge, and then he'd burn that bridge and then bounce to the next spot, you know? And like, that kind of set me up to where, not so much anymore, but I used to have this like antsy feeling of like I'm supposed to be on the go. Like we were gypsies, basically American gypsies, and like traveled and bounced around and all that stuff. And so I would move into a place, and 6 months later, I'd be looking at new places to move to. And it's like, it really started to mess with me. And as I got older, you have kids, and you get forced to be still for a moment. And it's like, man, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to grow in that way, because I was extremely immature in how I could handle like boredom, or even like waiting in lines and all that stuff. Like, it used to be agony for me, and it's so silly, like saying it's embarrassing, but like,
No,
I was just conditioned to that, you know?
I grew up with, well, still growing up, with just like
Me too,
extreme with extreme ADHD, man. I didn't want to fucking sit still, and it always felt like such a waste of time to do so many things. And it is hard most of the time to have someone that relates to that. I was always just like, I don't know, you always get viewed in that teenage area or era, and as a kid, it's just like, this fucking kid wants to still, he's bouncing off the walls, high energy, like kind of like a negative, you know what I mean? So I understand where
Yeah.
you're coming from, where it seems like it's embarrassing to not even want to wait in a fucking lineup, or just get like angry or upset with that kind of shit. Because I get it. It's
Yeah.
it's so relatable. Like, did you always have? Obviously, you don't fucking go into the world's strongest man competition that many times and earn all the stuff that you did by not. But did you always have like that nothing's gonna stop me attitude? Like, I remember reading up. I should think it was in the Joe Rogan podcast where you had numb legs and you were sleeping in your car after a back
Yeah.
incident at a
Yeah.
deadlift. I think it was.
That happened at the Giants Live right before I got invited to Worlds. And to this day, if I don't, 7 days a week, I have to walk and I have to do Instagram booty exercises, or my back shuts down. Like, I literally 7 days a week. And when my baby girl was born on September 5th. And so for like, thanks, bud. And so for like, like a week, you're in like this stay still panic, like there's just this little precious, And so I did nothing. I sat on the couch, and I'm telling you, I didn't think I'd ever be able to walk again. Like, it took me 20 minutes to get out of bed, and then I'm using the wall to walk my hands up and straighten my back out. And I'm gonna pay the piper for that one. It's for sure there. But it didn't have to be that way. It was silly, and I regret the way it happened too. But to answer your question, that drive, man, I just had this. I've always had a silly amount of confidence. My mom, like, for all the bad and all the good and all the weird, my
Yep.
mom believed in me. Like, no matter what, it was like I knew my
Dude, that
mom
is
knew
so
that I could
relatable.
do anything. And so, like, she would tell me every day, like, you're special, you can do this, you can do that. And so, like, I'm a chubby kid in high school getting bullied, and like I still would be like bopping around with my head up. Like,
Good.
I literally got messed with a lot, like from like all the way up until sophomore year when I had an 8-inch growth spurt, 7 or 8 inches. I got messed with a lot before that because I was short and chubby, and
Holy
it
shit.
never broke me. It never broke me, and to this day, I am so grateful that she just put it in my head that I could be anything, I could do anything, and I knew she really believed that. She wasn't saying it, she believed it, and so I've never lost that, and I will give that to my children.
Dude, that is like been a lot of it, but that's so relatable with my mom. Like I do stand-up comedy and most of my jokes are around how ride or die my mom is for me. And like I as a kid could be the worst fucking athlete on the field. And afterwards she'd be telling everyone of how amazing I was at it and telling me how good
Yeah,
I played and how
yeah,
like I'm so handsome and I'm gonna be so big one day and like just
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like did you have that feeling when you were starting to do Strongest Man or when you were talking about the NFL and joining that what'd you have to join again?
NFLPA, like
NFLPA.
before you can get drafted or signed or anything, you have to sign the paperwork to join the NFL Players Association. And
Okay.
again, that guy could have sent me fake paperwork. So if somebody checks this out and they're like, you were, I have the paper still. I have the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
paper I signed that says
Oh,
NFLPA.
I'm sure it was. Especially with how good of a player you were and how and your size and stature, I'm sure that somebody
Right.
was
Well,
looking
so I
forward to
ran
that.
a 4.9 at 365 at the end of my senior year in
How big
college.
were
I ran
you?
4.9. I was 365. I
Get the
did
fuck
two
out of here.
plates bench. I think I did it 46 or 48 times. Like I had a 33-inch vert. Those tests that they have at the combine, I did at a free agent combine in front of all 32 teams. And I was so prepared, like nobody believed what I was doing. And like luckily this guy that was working with the Raiders at the time, he came down to Oregon where I was, and he took a liking to me, and he was like, look, you want to run the 40, this is the first 3 steps. This is how you do it. Keep your head down to this. You want to do the bench, this is how you prepare. This is how you prepare for this and this. And for like 2 months, all I did was prepare for those little measurements that they take, the shuttle and all that. Like I was so prepared for that my numbers were insane. They were
Yeah, that's
insane.
fucking wild. Wow, that is really impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, it
Uh,
would have been better if it would have got me paid.
yeah. Fuck, I can't imagine how goddamn cutthroat the NFL side of things is. Like I'm Canadian. Like hockey's our thing. I'm a big baseball fan. That's what my main sport is. I traveled to California like a couple months ago to watch a bunch of baseball games, but football just seems like when I go to the States, like I go watch the Buffalo Bills, closest team. I'm a big football fan, play fantasy football, and I can't believe the size of it. Like when you go to the States, like even like college football, like I got on my list to go to some college football games, go see the
Yeah,
Bulldogs, and
it's
it's
a
crazy.
Coliseum.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
Coliseum. That's right.
for
Now,
sure.
growing up, like I've had this feeling in my gut most of my life. Maybe it's because I went through the same thing as you as a kid, like being bullied or being like kind of like the awkward size person and like I was a little shorter. I wasn't ever heavy, but I was super scrawny, was never like really crazy good at sports. Did you ever have that feeling like coming up in football and coming up in World's Strongest Man or like pushing yourself? Like, did you ever have the feeling in your head of like, I'm gonna fucking be the person that no one ever fucking thought I could be?
Not that way because, like I said, I have this
Yeah, you had the
ridiculous
confidence.
confidence that all that like
I
bounced
love
off me.
that.
Like literally, I remember this guy's face. He was a junior when I was a freshman, and he fucking tortured me. Like I lived in Watsonville, which is the poor part of town, and I went to school in Aptos. And the kids that took the bus from Watsonville to Aptos were the scariest kids in school. And so like, I remember this fucking guy waiting for me on the bus and all the fucking torturous shit that he used to do to me. And the craziest thing was like, I never once felt like he was right. That was my problem. I am fat and stupid. Like they would make fun of me for everything. And I always just kind of like had that bounce off me. And it was really their problem.
Imagine getting on a bus with that man today.
He hung himself. Yeah. My two bullies both committed suicide. My two real bullies committed suicide around 10 years after I graduated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That guy's is a sad story too. I won't
They've obviously went through a lot of shit.
I know, and that's what you realize looking back. Like, I still see his face. I still remember my stomach being in knots. Like, I would sit at the front of the bus to avoid him, and he'd come up there and get me. Like it was very hard to get through that for a while. Like, I ended up like just stop taking the bus altogether and then like walk halfway home till my dad got off work and picked me up because it's such a far walk, or shit like that. But
it's almost like you think someone that's putting out the torture to someone is just dishing out what they can't handle themselves, kind of thing.
Exactly. And that's what I realized. I realized that I mean, he had a family. He had a child. Like that guy was going through something at home as a kid that was just so fucking abusive and rough that it was pouring out of him. He did not hate me. He did not dislike me. He had a fucking an issue at home, and that's what sucks about it. Like I'm lucky enough that I never well, it's 50-50, it's 6 in one end, half a dozen in the other. Like I always used to feel like fuck, you should have stood up. Like, so what? Like there was plenty of times where I did stand up for myself and got my ass kicked or whatever.
Yep.
But that guy, I never had the balls to stand up to him. He was a scary motherfucker. I never stood up to him once. And that used to bother me for a really long time. It would eat away at me. Like those are things that I do have issues with. When someone slides me, or when I feel like someone has done something good or bad in between, if I've done wrong, I always have to say it, like, because of that guy, because of him. I have to, like, if you were to say something that I disagreed with, or I was to say something that I could see bother you, I would not be able to move forward until we talked about it. I would text you at 2 a.m. and be like, hey, I'm sorry, this is weird. You probably don't even care. I feel bad about this thing. Like I've become that person because of that
guy. First instincts, I don't know why it's such a relatable thing once again, but it's I got myself in trouble, like probably even within the last like 3 or 4 years of my life, with whenever someone says something that I feel like is just like they're getting away with being a shitty person, or like they're sliding one over me. My wife's told me this before. I can't just not fucking speak about it. Yeah. And then I'll say it, and then I'll approach it, and maybe it's not the way I wanted to, and then I fucking stir in my head about like bringing it up, and now I'm waiting for them to respond, and are they gonna be pissed off? And I don't know if that's exactly what you go through, but it goes through my head really so much. But yeah, going back to your to the person you went to school with, like I didn't have a bit as much of a respect as I do now. Like I'm 28. Till like 3 years ago when it came to mental health. It never affected my life. I was never upset. I was always kind of like, how does someone even feel that way? Like, how do they not push through something? How do they not understand it? Like, I can't believe they would leave, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's not until you actually have a respect for it and you're like, 100%. And now, like, I've had my moments with it, and it's just like, you don't fucking understand what it's like until you've been there.
Right. Right. And even that kid, it's hard to say it.
No, I respect that.
I hated that guy for a while. And I feel really bad. It's something I wish I could have done better, but we live and we learn. But I feel really bad about, like, of course I was a kid. How are you gonna how are you going to put all that together? But yeah.
At the same time, I respect you for feeling bad about yourself for hating someone that it did something to you, but at the same time, like, I don't know how bad you should feel. Like, not
it's not like it's eating away at me. I am very critical of myself all the time, and so whenever I even do great, I'm always like, okay, well, there's this and this and that, and that's just one of those moments in time that I really feel like my best self could have done so much better, and my best self may have had some kind of effect. I was a child and wasn't my best, and he wasn't his best either. But
looking back on all the things that you could have said or could have done is it's definitely something that eats away at you.
But it's one of those things. I'm so grateful that I learned a lesson from that. I'm so grateful. Like, I got kids and I see other kids and I'm like, that kid that's throwing the temper tantrum or that kid that's bullying the other kid, I just have a big old heart for him,
Yeah, you just never know what someone else is going through, and it's fucking easy to judge a book immediately and just blame them for being a shitty person, but you have no idea what they're going through.
Yeah. And it's for me now, I see it in a whole different light. Like, my little man's 8. And so, like, of course, there's going to be rambunctious kids around him. And when I see that, like, the old me would have been like, don't you go around that kid or da 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 da. If I was my high school self, but I'm better than that person now. And I really hope that whatever did come out of all of that shit, that if maybe one of these little kids now is going to get an extra opportunity because the big strongman thinks they're cool. He doesn't think they're silly or too rambunctious or whatever. Like, I have a weight with kids now that it affords me the opportunity to kind of put a big light on them or make them feel special in ways that, like, it just doesn't happen a lot. And so I do this. There's a YouTube channel I regularly do called Preston Plays. It's this gigantic kids channel. So when I travel, man, kids recognize me more than anybody. I'm at the airport. It's always little kids that are like, oh, you're from Preston Plays, And so, like, I have this whole new world, this whole new generation of little kids who I can now take my heart and be like, this is the way that it should be. Like, feel how I feel. Like, it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. It doesn't matter if you had a hard day or you throw a temper tantrum because you're tired or you get upset and get in a fight with your mom. All those things don't equal you're a bad person. It just means we got to take the next right step. The next thing we can do right, we do that. And hey, guess what? I think you're already pretty cool. So you're doing good, and that I've seen that do so much. And so I'm really grateful for that.
I respect the hell out of that. Like, I even thought about, like, bringing up the fact of you were like a superhero. Like, in a kid's eyes, the size of you as a man and what you've done, and, like, obviously your accomplishments don't mean shit to a kid. They see you, you're just this big, strong man that can lift stuff. You're a fucking human superhero. It would change a kid's entire day if he's having a shitty day and you're just like, you're cool, buddy. You're so strong. Or like, lift this up. Like, you could jack a kid's day up completely. I'll have to check out that YouTube channel and see. Like, that's cool. I have a lot of nieces and nephews that would probably love that.
Yeah, Preston Plays. He's a good dude, man.
Preston Plays. Awesome. Now, going straight back to this went straight from you having your legs go numb and sleeping in your truck. Did you go through a ton of injuries? Like, I know that they're inevitable when you're doing what you're doing, but is it a crazy list of, like, large injuries? I know you tore a pec, didn't you?
The injury thing, like, it also, like, my list is very minimal because I never had health insurance, right? So it wasn't like when my legs were numb, I got to go see the doc and they got to tell me what was wrong, or like when my bicep tore the first time and it was still partially attached, or when I tore my forearm, or I I've blown out my ankle so many freaking times. Football took my ankle a long time ago. So there's things like that. But I mean, it's not a crazy list when you look at other guys. I guess it's a crazy list to someone who isn't in that world, but like really it's screwed up discs, bulging discs in the back sort of thing. And then the only real thing that I ever decided to pay to fix was the bicep I tore on my left arm. It didn't tore, it exploded. It didn't tear, it exploded. I know words.
Exploded?
So it exploded, and that one cost me $17,000 cash. But another thing about that was I tore that, or it exploded. That next day, I flew to Canada to film the pilot for Strongest Men in History.
This is Nova Scotia?
Strongest Men in History with me, Eddie, Brian, and Nick, the TV show.
Yeah.
I filmed the pilot with my bicep blown out. And that pilot never came out, but I literally did a water jug carry up a hill. I flipped a boat.
This is in Nova Scotia?
I did all these things. Say it again?
Was this in Nova Scotia?
Yes.
I think I remember reading about this. That's fucking crazy.
So I did all that stuff with it, like in searing pain. But like when you did the bicep, like the rinky dink, like roll your wrist bicep check, it still looked like it might still be there. But that was because it exploded and it wasn't attached like it was attached at the base and not in like a couple centimeters up.
There is a check if your bicep is exploded.
Yeah.
Check.
You just if your bicep's attached. So if you can see, you put your arm out here, you look at your bicep, and you just roll your wrist over. You look at your bicep at the bottom, not arm, just roll your wrist. Don't roll your arm. Keep your palm, your elbow down, and roll your wrist. Is your bicep moving?
Yeah.
Then it's connected.
Oh, thank goodness. Dude, you were lifting or carrying the boats before David Goggins.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Who's gonna carry the boat?
Who's gonna carry the boat? You're like, I did it with a fucking blown up bicep, man. Like,
and all the guys too, Brian included. Brian feels bad about this, but Brian, Ed, and Nick, the whole time they were like, "It's not torn, bro. It's not torn. You wouldn't be able to do this stuff if it was torn. Like it's simple. Your arm wouldn't do this if it was torn." I was like, "All right, you guys are right. I'm being a bitch.
Yeah,
it really fucking hurts." But all right, let's do this. Like it's make or break time, right? Like this is an opportunity Strongman didn't get at that point. So we needed to make a fucking show. So I put it up, and then I get home, and I'm like, I gotta at least get it checked out because it feels horrible. And the guy's like, "Yeah, that thing's gone." Yeah.
Oh my god! Then the text goes out to Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall, like.
Yeah, I sent him the picture of the scan. And I was like, "Fuck you guys." Well, I mean, Eddie was worse. Like the guys were all like teasing me, right? Just like being bros.
Yeah.
But then Eddie, we were flipping the boat, and there was a rope on the boat, and so I'm sitting there going to flip the boat, and it won't come up, and it's like. It's excruciating. It's like, imagine trying to flip a tire and it won't come up and your biceps killing it. And so I look down, I see the rope, and the rope goes behind me, and Eddie's back there standing on the rope, making sure I can't flip it. I swear to you, I have never, as an adult, once I stopped bouncing, I've never let myself get to the point where I was ready to fight. If you're going to fight me, it's going to be a one-sided fight because I'm not going to fight you back. I'm just going to like hold you. You know, I am not going to fight people anymore. I've done it. I don't need to prove anything. I don't want to hit or hurt anybody. But I turned around and I was ready to fight. I was very happy that Brian grabbed me, literally had to squeeze me because I was ready to burn the show. Forget everything. We need to fight now, you know? And he was just fucking laughing. And then in the end, I did appreciate it. In the end, I realized that that's what got us the show. That moment right there is why they picked up the show. And Eddie was like, "It was great for TV, right?" And I was like, "Fucking A, bud, you're right." It was.
Dude, the the relationship between you, Eddie Hall, and Brian Shaw is hilarious. Like, it's really
Yeah,
funny. It's extra funny to see guys that are your size have the humor that you guys have. Like, you'd always
yeah,
expect them to be like intimidating and scary. Like, if you walked up to you guys, didn't say anything, just had like your resting face, you'd be like, "Oh fuck, I ain't fucking with
right.
this guy." And then seeing you guys like the fart, like Eddie farting in the elevator and shit, hearing about that story.
Yeah,
Oh
we're silly.
man,
That's the thing about most of the guys in strongman have similar background stories where they were awkward or big or whatever, got picked on, this and that. And so most of these guys, they're just really gentle guys.
yeah,
It's much more common to meet a professional. I'll say there's a big number of amateurs, so I couldn't quite say that, but it's much more common to meet a professional strongman that's like soft spoken and sweet. It's much more common. I mean, hang out with Big Z and you're like, holy shit, this guy's the legend of Z, and very, very sweet, very, very nice,
you
very calm.
can't have a lot of built up anger. It feels like with how often you guys are working out and getting it out and like lifting
Tell
super
that to
heavy shit.
bodybuilders.
Fair. That's fair. Um, Going from you tearing a bicep, blowing it up, all the injuries that you've had, was your recovery ever important to you?
Yeah, not as important as it should have been. The thing is like that was my only means of income. So for me, it was much less about being healthy and more about getting my ass back out there. Is like you gotta do so much fucking work to get a $2,000 check as a professional strongman. It's insane. And yeah, it was always about that. And
Wow.
I don't think there's not one professional show I ever went into like not broken in some kind of way.
Didn't have any cold plunges like they do now?
Yeah, the cold plunges don't fix your discs or reattach your bicep tendons or anything. But yeah, like I got a sauna, I got a cold plunge. I didn't pay $9,000 for a cold plunge. I went and bought a horse trough like a
Yeah, yeah.
fucking normal person would.
Yeah.
But
I have an inflatable one.
oh nice. The inflatable ones are nice too.
Yeah.
Brian's is so fucking decked out, it's so sick. But Brian, I'm sure he got it sent to him, so it's not like he had to drop the dime on it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
those like if anybody listening, if you want a cold plunge, but it's hard for you to afford one, I spent I think it was $80. I went to the feed store and just
Yep.
bought a horse trough. Simple, easy. And it works. That stuff's nice. But yeah, no, I was always banged up, beat up, and
Damn.
never really felt great. But it was like I don't think that's unique. I don't. That's very rare. I mean, I can't think of anybody who's not got some kind of thing going. And it's like even guys like Brian. Brian doesn't publicly. Brian's retired now, but Brian wouldn't publicly come out and be like, "Hey, my hamstrings hurt," before going into a show like a lot of guys do. He's not an excuse guy. He would do a full competition, go home with a bruised hamstring, and keep it to himself for like the first, I don't know, 12 years of his career. And then towards the end, he got a little bit more honest, like when
Yep.
he tore his hamstring on the Arnold stage, he shared the picture of the bruise. But like everybody's banged up, even if they're not telling you.
Mhm.
There might be a
There's
reason they don't
no
tell you, but
there's
they're
no
beat.
way. There's no way you're getting to that route without injury. I don't think. Maybe there is, but
Yeah.
like that seems like if you want to be one of the best, like you guys, like there's a lot that goes into that. But getting away from the strongman, like what you've been doing now, like I know this is definitely still related to the strongman, but a little bit outside of it. How was Dubai?
Dubai. It was
Yeah,
cool, man. I like Dubai.
it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're fucking talking in public, bro.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't know when I'll ever if I'll go back. I don't want to. I don't want to end up disappeared.
dude, no,
But
it scares me to the point where like I'm gonna go there and like I don't know what's gonna get me arrested or what's
oh,
gonna
it's
like
not like
what am
that.
I gonna do
No, no,
wrong?
no. People, that kind of shit. That's like what people say about Singapore and stuff too. It ain't real. Like
That's good
yes,
to hear.
if you go to Dubai and you pull your dick out at the mall, you're gonna have some fucking problems. But if you just go be a normal person, like they, yeah,
That's exactly why I was
they,
going, actually.
damn it, I ruined the whole trip. So if you like, people always like before I went to Dubai, they were like, "Oh, you can't hold hands. There's no liquor. Your women have to have their heads covered." And all this shit. Like, bro, every single hotel has a bar. It's not as crazy. It's much more Western, and it gets more Western all the time as far as like restrictions and stuff. It's not like I was in Turkey and in Singapore, and
Yeah.
it's a little bit more strict out there, but even in those two places, it's not like people say. Like when I went to Singapore, everyone's like, "Oh, if you spit your gum out, they're gonna cane you," and da 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 da. And it's like, it was not like that for me. And I spent 2 weeks in Singapore. Amazing, amazing. Never had one weird instance at all. My whole time, I've been to Dubai 2 or 3 times, and one of the times we were there for like 10 days. Drove to Abu Dhabi, got to race like cars out there, ride through the desert, like doing all this crazy shit.
That's sick.
I had a fucking blast, bro. Like I never once felt weird.
It's good to hear that from this side of things, because like Dubai, I always figured it was like based on watching like the golf side of things now there. Like you see a lot more of the social media side of thing there. It's obviously it seemed like an easy place to pre-assume of what's going to happen because you never really know. But yeah, I always figured it was a little bit more far-fetched than it should be. Bringing up the nugs, how much weed does it actually take to get you high?
Shoot, now I'm a lightweight, man. I took a big break off of it. So like
Oh, did
I
you?
started smoking weed when I was a kid, like
Yeah,
really
yeah.
young. And in my life, it's gone back and forth. My old man, he was schizophrenic bipolar, and he had a meltdown. He quit all of his meds and smoked, and then had a really fucking rough meltdown. And I can, you know, have times in my life where I smoke every single day. I love smoking before I go for a jog. I love smoking before workouts, before whatever. Like it didn't inhibit me from my work, but then all of a sudden it turns on me, and I'll take a hit, and I'm panicky, and I'm like, I can't. I don't. I'm not. I'm doing everything wrong. I'm gonna end up being crazy, just like my dad, and all this crazy shit. It all floods in, and like I can't control it, and then like I have to step away from it. And like that as a kid, I used to try and smoke through that, and like just keep doing it, just because that was my habit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like as an adult, like I'm right now, I haven't smoked in a while, and it's just normal for me. Like I'm like proud of myself that I don't need a thing. I've always been scared of getting caught on pills. Everybody gets stuck on pills, and I got given a lot of pills when I was playing football. I hurt my ankle, like I said, and I was just fed pills like fucking crazy. And I was a child, man, and
That's brutal.
I detoxed myself in the dorm room, like by myself. Like I remember laying on the bed and watching the walls shift and all this stuff, and my fucking, anyways. But yeah,
That's fucking crazy, man. Good for you, especially at that
and so
young
like
age.
I never wanted to go back to that, and so like I resist ibuprofen. Like I'll wait until it's like, fuck, I really need something, then I'll take some ibuprofen. And not that ibuprofen's bad. It's just I am susceptible. I'm a fucking crazy person's kid who's got all the fucking I need tinglies whenever I want drugs. So like
Yep.
whether it's cigarettes or coffee or weed, whatever, pills, like I'll take them until it ain't good for me. So I stick away.
Jeez. Well, good for you. Like I grew up, I remember in high school, I got pressured so much. Like I think it was on like lunch break. People would go like to a buddy's house and they'd smoke weed in the garage and eat lunch kind of thing. And I came out and they pushed me every day, like, come on, smoke some, smoke some. Like so many days I said no, like I didn't give into that shit. And the one day I finally said yes, they took all the crystal from the bottom of the grinder and just gave me like a full crystal toke. And I was so fucking high. Like I just remember
Uh,
like walking. My mom worked at a drugstore at this point, and I showed up, and I'm like, I fucking tried drugs, and she took me home, and I think I watched like The Wizard of Oz for like fucking
That's
3
cool. You
hours.
told her, man.
Yeah,
That's really
I grew up
cool.
with my parents telling me like, we understand people do stupid shit, but tell us. Like,
Yeah.
I remember smoking at a younger age. I live in a town that was like the capital of growing tobacco. So like it just everyone did. I've been off of it for a couple years now, but um they were always like that. Like, tell me. Like, and it
Yeah.
felt like I didn't have that like oh my god, they're gonna kill me, and didn't want to
Yeah.
rebel against it. Like they were
Yeah.
fine with it. They put me in front of the TV, and I stood at a mirror and watched it, looked at a mirror for so long that my ears started ringing, and I had like a panic attack. And then every time I smoked it, I was like fucking losing my mind. So now I'll do like some edibles and like smoke a joint for fun, just to like mine's on like 1,000 beats a fucking minute all the time, and sometimes I use it to calm myself down and give myself
Yeah.
a couple minutes of just not fucking think about everything in the world. But no, I think it's definitely got its place. But good for you being able to balance that. Like, do you do like caffeine or
Yeah, I do.
smoke
Well,
or anything like
caffeine
that?
doesn't do anything to me. Like, but I drink it. I drink coffee,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it doesn't really do anything. It's kind of just I drink it to drink it.
yeah, yeah.
I could skip it all the time. My old man used to get headaches when he didn't have coffee, so I was always worried about that too. So like
Dependent.
I'll go a week with no coffee, no problem, and like I'll have a cup when I want it. I like the sweet, creamy ass fucking milkshake coffee like everybody else.
Fuck yeah,
But
me too. I'm a white girl,
yeah,
dude. I like cold brews. I like iced coffee.
dude, I just found out. So when I was in Singapore, we did Vietnamese coffees all the time out of a baggie, and they were fucking delicious.
Out of a
So I
what?
got back, and like nobody does it the same way. So I found out the raw recipe. If you want to go to Starbucks and have a Vietnamese coffee, you order a quad espresso in an extra ice venti cup with 2 or 3 pumps of white mocha with cold foam cold foam. Right there. That's the whole order. I know it sounded stuttered, but that's the whole order of a raw ingredients Vietnamese coffee if you want it from Starbucks. And it's actually really good from there.
Now, how fired up are you after 4 espressos? I guess you're a big man. Like I'm probably fucking running on the walls.
Bro, I
But
sold when I was at the end of my high schoolish, allegedly career. I don't want to put a timetable on it. Anyways, at some point in my life, I used to sell Coke. Like I was literally dealing Coke.
yeah,
And I would do it and everything. And I was around people doing it all the time. It never once made me feel fucking great. It never did that like so fresh, so clean feeling that Outcast talks about. Like it never had that for me. For me, like it would make me kind of like grumpy, and then like I'd go for power walks all night, chain smoking cigarettes. The coffee's never gave me like this super up. Coke's never done it. None of it. I don't know if like maybe like I was born with the deadened senses because of who my parents are or whatever, or maybe I just haven't had the good stuff. I don't know.
yeah, I would fucking sleep 4 days from now if I took 4 espressos. Like,
Oh, fuck.
dude, I was fucking. People would have a hard time knowing who I am. I'd look like a fucking squirrel on meth, dude. I'd be running around like a freak. But
Lucky you, man. That's awesome.
yeah,
Keep that. That's great. That shit works for you. So like me, I can drink 4 shots of espresso and go right to sleep. It's like I'm only drinking it because I
what
like
the
the
fuck?
fucking taste.
That's wild as hell, dude.
Yeah.
Now, just before we finish up here, how's acting been for you? I know that like this year, like with the release of the Righteous Gemstones, where did this come from?
It's my new world, man. I love it. I'm so grateful for it. Like
It's fucking awesome.
I mean, to show that I have talents that don't rely on my back. Like I grew up obsessed with theater and movies, and when we had no electricity, we had a little video camera, and I would make my own movies. And I was in every play through middle school. I wrote songs and plays that I even got to perform. In junior high, I was Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and the teacher of drama, the drama class. I don't remember if it was called drama or whatever, but the drama teacher, she made fun of me, and she like I don't want to get into everything, but she made fun of me in front of the whole class, so I never went back to class. My parents didn't care if I ditched class, so I wasn't going to go ever again. I never did. I never got the opportunity to chase that anymore. And like, I always, as cheesy as it is, I always wanted that. Like everybody, they say like grows up wants to be this and that. I didn't want to be a movie star. I wanted to be in plays. I wanted to write. Like I wrote the music for our Christmas play in sixth grade, and then like taught the dance to everybody, and like made up songs, all the stuff. I used to be obsessed with that. I made, I think, 4 horror movies the week after Scary Movie came out. I was obsessed. So like I made a bunch of spoof horror movies where like the Taco Bell dog was chasing my sister through the forest and all this shit. Like I was just obsessed. And I took a risk when I finally got like a contract from a supplement company, and I had like a little bit of money every month that would pay my bills. Not a lot, just enough to pay my bills. I was like, I gotta see if I can. Like if I can't, I do care, but what would really eat me up is if I didn't try. So I moved to LA, and I chased it for 3 years there, and lost everything in the process, lost myself, and just didn't happen. Like I kept getting commercials as myself, which was like the opposite I wanted. Like I wanted to be a character. I didn't want to be Robert Oberst drinks 5-hour energy drink, you know? Like I wanted to be somebody else. And so never happened. I took off and left. And a year or two later, the guy who was one of my managing team members or whatever, he ran like I don't know if they call it a stable, but like he had like a crew of big guy actors, and he hit me up and was like, hey, I know you're not in LA anymore, but the way things work now, there's so many auditions on tape. I think like you should just let me put you on the website. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
Literally the next day, got an audition for the Righteous Gemstones. And I was like, oh my gosh, like Danny McBride? Like I fucking loved the show. I'd already watched it, obsessed with Danny from way back. And so like, I was like, I'm going to put everything into this. Like I'm going to, in the audition, my character got his ear cut off. Didn't happen to me in the show, but in the audition, that was what I was supposed to play out. So I put on my overalls. I put ketchup on the side of my face. I work up real fucking tears, and I'm here with a cell phone, just bawling. Like I'm putting everything into it. And all of my stuff. Like I made sure that like they knew that like I cared. And I got I got a call like the next day. They were like, "Yeah, bud, that's your spot." And I talked to the guys there. Brandon over at Rough House Productions fought for me, like saw me out of the crew, and everyone liked me. But Brandon was like, guys, you don't understand. This is something special. Like they kept calling me their secret weapon, because like everyone who knew I was going to act, they expected me to do what other athletes or strongmen do, right? Stand there, maybe grunt, and that's it. Like I had a full fucking breakdown. Like I got to be the strong one. I got to be the weak one. I got to be the tearful one. I got to feel remorse, all of that, like a full spectrum of reality on camera. And that's a fucking lot for them to take that risk on me. I am so grateful, and I love those guys. They're amazing crew. Rough House Productions.
Especially like for like being like your first big acting, to be able to do that much and have that much time and not be like the typical role for you that's gotta feel amazing.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was like the little kid in me that got teased by the junior high drama teacher. Like he just had a big smile on his face. I really like used to geek out. Like I would
That's
dress
awesome.
up like before like I was even into like on stage or anything like that. Like I would dress up in character and make the movies. Like I did a whole thing where I played a woman and I'm wearing dresses and all this stuff. And like people would never expect that of me. But like I had 5 sisters and 4 brothers. So like to me, getting a dress on and putting makeup on was not an unusual thing. So like I was all about the transformation, and I am so grateful to those guys for believing in me.
Well, good for you. Like it all comes from a place of like you went after it. You moved. Where you're in Texas, right? Like Sacramento.
I was in
Sacramento.
Oregon, and then I moved down to LA, and then I moved to Texas, and then I'm in Idaho now.
Nice. Well, still
Yeah.
like that entire grind
Steady.
of going through all that is it's impressive, and it's added to your entire resume and all the stuff you've done from strongman to football, strongman, now acting. Like, is this the goal? Like, this is obviously from a young age, this was the goal. Like, you want to be an actor.
Yeah. It was such an important goal to me. I wouldn't tell anybody about it. You know?
Dude, that would make me cry because like mine's to do like be able to travel doing stand up, and it getting to that point like you did, like it would just be like, I fucking did it. I fucking did it. You know,
it's kind of that. It's like, so Danny told me, Danny's such a sweetheart. He's like, bud, you have this forever now. And like, I was like, oh shit, like my kids will see this. And not just some like, I mean, a fucking respectable, amazing show. Like, well done. Yes, they gotta wait till they're older to see this, but like they're gonna see like a quality version of my talent. And like I'm so grateful for that. And in that moment, I did what I always do, what I referred to earlier, was I checked myself and I was like, hey, you're not there yet. You're there when this is your sole way you provide for your family, when you can do this and not have to worry about the fact that you took a year off because there was a strike. Like that's when I'll feel like I made it. And I'm excited at the chase and at the opportunity, and so grateful for that gigantic first step that they gave me. But I still always feel like I gotta chase it at least until I get some like Marvel Avengers money or something, you know.
You could be a Marvel. You could be a superhero.
I'd be down.
Well, I gotta say, Robert, I respect you, and I really appreciate you jumping on a podcast with someone, some random guy from Canada, and talking about your life, and you've been an inspiration to me just even over the last year of listening to you and watching your stuff and like seeing you on fucking Joe Rogan. Like you've been on the biggest podcast on the planet. So to have you here and chat with me, I really appreciate you. I respect you, and it seems like all around like you're a good dude, and you care a lot about those around you and what you're doing with your life. So I gotta say it's very inspiring.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I really appreciate it. And where can people go find you? Just Robert Oberst on Instagram?
Yeah. Just search my name or whatever.
And the YouTube was
I don't do YouTube anymore. That's so like the whole jumping off and believing in myself sort of thing ended up putting me in a place where I just didn't feel like I could be a YouTube influencer and a serious actor. So I cut that out immediately.
Target your main goal. No, I respect that.
I probably should have waited till after the strike, but
that's
it's all good. It's all good.
Again,
the strike's over as of last night, so no worries.
I saw that get posted. You got to be stoked.
Super stoked. So
yeah, get back to the acting and keep rolling. I remember I was just in LA, so it's cool to see that place. There's a lot of opportunity there, and regardless, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Everyone, go check out his Instagram. Go watch The Righteous Gemstone to see him in there, and you can find so many videos of him on YouTube with all those guys. And thank you again. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah, buddy. Have a good day.